2 weeks of winter testing this season, and we move into week 2 of the tests in Bahrain. The Circuit de Catalunya gave us plenty of food for thought, but now Bahrain will see improvements, developments, and perhaps a first real glimpse at the true pace of the new vehicles in Formula 1. I'm Ollie Wilson for GP Fans, and this is everything you need to know about this week's testing in Bahrain. So let's start from the top. Why is winter testing taking place in Bahrain this season? Well, it's not the first time that the winter tests have taken place in Bahrain. Last year, the track in the small island state of the Persian Gulf was also used for preparation for the new Formula 1 season. At the time, F1 completely ignored its traditional winter test destination, the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. At this time, this had everything to do with the postponement of the season opener in Australia, which also pushed the winter testing back. This gave the teams more time to prepare for the new season in the factory and to dot the I's and cross the T's. This season, testing will again take place in Bahrain, also because the season opener is going to be there a week after testing finishes. So when is the testing week in Bahrain? Well, of course, it's this week, and it kicks off on Thursday the 10th of March, finishing on Saturday the 12th. The teams and drivers can still experiment and rack up the miles on track before the new season gets underway. These dates are slightly different to the normal test weeks, which usually take place from Wednesday to Friday. The winter test in Bahrain starts an hour earlier than the test did in Spain as well. In Sakir, the tests will start every day at 7 AM GMT and end at 4 PM. There is a lunch break dividing up the day as well for the teams. Unlike the test days in Barcelona, the sessions in Bahrain can be followed live on television, which is great for us F1 fans and viewers. So where can we watch the winter testing from Bahrain? Well, there were no cameras on the track during the test week in Barcelona, but there will be plenty of footage coming out of Bahrain. In the UK, Sky Sports will show coverage of the test days, with Thursday's running shown in its entirety on Sky Sports F1 and its main event channel. Friday's running will be on both channels in the morning, and then on Sky Sports F1 showing the afternoon session, with the same taking place on Saturday. Check with your local listings, of course, for where you can catch the test days in your area, with full timings also available online. And of course, GP Fans will be on the ground in Bahrain, covering all of the action across our social media channels on @GPFansGlobal, and of course our live blog on gpfans.com. And we will be reviewing the test days after each day here on the YouTube channel as well. So don't worry, we've got you covered if you miss any of the action. For this season, Formula 1, as I mentioned, has chosen to have 2 weeks of testing in 2 different locations. The so-called shakedown week, a kind of preview of the real testing week, took place in Barcelona. However, it was completed behind closed doors, as we've touched on, which meant that fans couldn't get into the stands, and of course we couldn't watch from our TV screens at home. Formula 1 decided to only dedicate a TV broadcast to the testing week in Bahrain, perhaps because Bahrain wanted the scoop of being able to really show the cars on track for the first time. However, the difference between Barcelona and Bahrain isn't just in the TV coverage, because during the test week in the Middle East, the various Formula 1 teams will also push the boundaries of their new cars that little bit further. In addition, they will take their lessons learned from Spain and implement developments onto their cars in Bahrain. There is a real chance that we will see changes to all of the various cars this week. And finally, an important question that some are asking is, are the engines that are used in testing count towards the engine count for the season? The engines used by the Formula 1 teams in winter tests won't count for this new campaign. During the test weeks, the racing stables are allowed to change parts without any consequences. The teams must of course though be careful, as there is often a limited number of spare parts kicking around the garages on test weeks. A big crash can cause a lot of damage and therefore cause a number of major problems to the team's testing plans over the 3 days. Well look, that's all you need to know about the testing in Bahrain. Are you looking forward to finally getting a good glimpse of these cars on track yourselves from wherever you're watching, or of course following here at GP Fans? And remember to hit the subscribe button to follow the whole of the F1 season here with us at the channel.